Melin hats part 2, the thermal edition. So let's go. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to do something kind of fun. It's one of my obsessions that a lot of you know about. We're going to take it a little bit further since the seasons are changing. The weather's getting a little bit colder, at least for most people. You know, it's getting a little bit colder in that, and it's something that you need to think about when you are wearing a hat. I'm the #1 fan of Melin hats. I love Melin hats. I can't stop buying Melin hats, as you can see. We got the special little camo one on today. Okay, so the channel's been going for a short time at this point. So a lot of you don't know exactly what kind of lifestyle I have and where I go and what I do in the winter. I spend the majority of my time up in a town called Breckenridge. Shout out Breck, all you people in Breck. Anyhow, Breck's fantastic, and several things you do up there. You're snowboarding, it's snowing, you do split boarding, you hike, you snowshoe, snowmobile, you do all those kind of things, and you're always wearing a hat. One of the things that I didn't understand when I started to split board was you sweat your balls off the whole way up the hill. You think, okay, it's freezing cold, it's snowing like hell, I need to bundle up with everything I can, and that's just not the case. Two of my buddies, Jake and Pete, the brothers LaRue, they're the ones who taught me that you don't do that because you don't want to be all sweaty when you get to the top because you're going to be cold. So one of the things I've always done is you bring a hat, baseball hat. So you have your regular helmet and you have your jackets and all that stuff, and that stuff gets packed away. When you pack it away in your pack, you're walking up the mountain, you're getting sweaty and you're hot and you're warm, and so you don't want to get too warm. By the time you get to the top, kind of defeats everything you're trying to do. So the problem is that when you put on a baseball hat on the way up, the Melin hats are great for that, just as is. The way that they list it is warm, warmer, and warmest. So there's different levels of hats that you can go through. I've done a couple of the different hats through them, different styles of these particular thermals. We're going to talk about those a little bit today. So I think what we'll do is we'll start with the kind of the lightest version of those hats. One of the things that's great about Melin is they have a ton of different kinds of hats that you can choose from. I don't choose, believe it or not, I don't choose every single line of the hats for a couple of reasons. Number one, I've got this giant Melin. It doesn't fit every hat, I can just tell you this, but just to give you a breakdown, let's take a look here. They have what's called the A-Game, Odysea, Trenches, Coronado, Compass, Legend, Pace, Caddy, Coast, and then they also have beanies. The hats that I typically stick with are the Odysea and the Trenches, and occasionally the Coronado. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through a few of those versions of these thermal hats, and I'll show you what we have and kind of the different styles and what you can expect from them, okay? So let's do this. Let's start with the Odysea. One of the cool things, one of the things that I love about the Melin hats is that it doesn't matter what hat you get, they have the size on the inside. So you've got the small, the classic, and the XLs. Big dome guy, XL every time. Sometimes that works out, sometimes it doesn't. But it labels it for you, and it's also going to tell you what the names are directly inside. So this particular line, as you can see right here, we've got, this is kind of a snow camo hat, and this is the Odysea thermal. One of the things you can see from the inside, I don't know if you can see that, but it's just nice and soft, and it's just wonderful. Feels really good on your head, and you get that extra kind of layer of warmth in there. And then if you could feel the material, it's a waterproof material, almost like I would almost call it like a ski jacket. It has that kind of feeling. And then when you feel on the brim of the hat, it feels extremely smooth, nice, and you can tell that there's some structure to it. Sometimes they show up and they're made and they have the curve on them and that kind of stuff. You really have to work it to make it change. So this is a great one. Let's call it the white camo Odysea thermal. So there's one particular version that you can look at. It's a fantastic looking hat. Yeah, I don't know exactly why I thought the white camo would be something that I needed. It literally does not work with anything that I own. So, but just in case you know, I need to hide and I'm out in the, I don't know what the hell I'd use it for, but it's camo. Everybody knows I love camo. So we'll try that one. Let's go to the next version here. The next version is just a simple gray with a little bit of a black logo on the front, you can see. There we go. Kind of some black trim. Same thing. We're looking at the exact same type thing. Nice, smooth, fleece kind of interior. It's really warm. Surprisingly, you'd be very surprised how warm. Same thing with the bill. These are just the same version of the hats. Yeah, it's nice. Good color. You need every color, right? So you've got, what do we got? Snow camo, gray, and then you can go straight black on black, which, can you ever go wrong with black on black? I don't think so. I like it. Black on black on black on black on black. Love that. Material feels great. I can tell you that I've tested this. I'm not going to do this right here. You're just going to have to take my word for it. But I've tested it with a whole cup of water right over the top of the head. It just rolls off. So it's almost like having a Gore-Tex jacket where that snow or rain or whatever hits it, doesn't go anywhere, it drops right off, never is damaged. These hats are indestructible in my book. So there you go, black on black. And then this one's a little bit different. This is called the Ripcord. So it's the Odysea Thermal Ripcord. You can see here, we've got, you know, kind of nice, that army green color, but the difference here is it has kind of a different backing to it. The clasp in the back is leather, and I don't know where I'm at with this particular thing right here. I kind of go back and forth. It's very nicely made. It works great. It's not uncomfortable. I don't know if that's my thing, but hats are dope. I mean, look at it. Fantastic. Same kind of material and everything. Although this one feels a touch lighter, the Ripcord does, than these other ones. I think it might be just one, just a hair lighter and a little bit not quite as warm maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. So let's move on to the next collection. This is my personal favorite. I like this particular hat the most. And it's the material, which I would not have thought that I would have liked it the most, but it's just a nice kind of a wool. As you can see, I don't know if you can see that. That looks nice. Nice wool with a leather brim. I don't know if that's real leather or not. It sure feels real. The quality feels next level. Same kind of thing with the snapback. I don't know what you call it. What would you even call that? It's not a snapback, but you understand what I'm talking about. That's just a little bit different. It's cool, I guess. I mean, it's growing on me, but it's just, I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll report back. The other thing that's great about these is you can see where they have the logo. That's nice leather or fake leather or whatever it is they have. It's nice. It's just such a well-made hat. Feels great on your head, really warm, not too warm. Almost feels like some technology's gone into it to be similar to what a Gore-Tex jacket would be, meaning Gore-Tex is supposed to keep your heat in, not overheat. You let too much heat out, not the cold in, or I don't know, some sort of weird technology. All I know is every time I buy Gore-Tex, I'm warm, I'm comfortable. Not too hot, not too cold. That's how these hats feel. So yeah, I like these. These are sharp. Okay, so that color, I don't even know what you would call this color. Does it say on here? No, but it does say, all right, here we go. It's giving us some information here. The crown, the front is 69% wool, 19% poly, 12% PU. I don't know what that means. Crown back, the visor is nylon polyurethane. Huh, polyurethane. Feels kind of like leather. Well, regardless, very cool. Okay, now let's go to the next one. This is a little bit different, as you can tell right here. We've got just a little bit of a different look. The front of it is a little not quite as stiff. And that, I would tell you that my son, these are his favorite hats. This one's kind of nice, has the brown leather in the back, or polyurethane or whatever the hell it is. But this color's kind of cool. It's got some little accents in here that are kind of copper, kind of neat. And this particular model is called the Coronado Scout. So the Scout hats are these ones. That's what these are. These are the Odysea Scout. So what that means is Odysea is this particular hat, this style with this crown and logo and things on it. So that's the Odysea. This particular version with the wool and such is called the Scout. So then you go to the Coronado, you get the Coronado Scout. You can tell it's just a little more floppy. You got a bunch of buddies up in the mountain. They don't like their hats to be a little jacked up. I think this might be the hat for you guys. So there's that one. My son might steal that one. I hope not. So you get the Odysea Scout. And then since we're talking about it, you also have what's called the Trenches Scout. So Trenches is basically the flat bill, kind of normal baseball hat. That's what I'm wearing right here. I'm wearing a Trenches. That's probably my number one that I choose is the Trenches. This one's nice with that black wool and that nice, I think it feels like leather, polyurethane bill. Fantastic. This one's good. Same kind of thing on the back. So yeah, there you go. A little bit breakdown. This particular one is my favorite one so far, okay? Going with this one, Trenches Scout. Okay, and then just kind of round out the colors on these. Got a couple more. Same thing, this is the Odysea. A little more of a curved bill, different crown in that. I'm digging this particular model of hat quite a bit now. I'm buying a little more of these as opposed to the Trenches. Same kind of thing in the back. Black on black on black on black. Always good, okay. It's fantastic. And then just to round it out, we've got this particular one, which is nice. This is just kind of a gray, I guess. Two-tone kind of hat. Let's take a look over here again. Two-tone. Yeah, gray and black. Fantastic. So, like that. Fantastic. All right, if we're going to take this a step further, let's just do it. I've been given more shit for buying these particular hats than anybody you could imagine. All right, let's just keep it moving. But I will tell you, we're going to get to this next version, and I have been given such a hard time for buying these particular hats, and I like them, but I don't really wear them. So it never gets quite that bad. So we're going to go straight Elmer Fudd on you. I don't even know what this version's called. You can tell the tags are still on this one, so it's not even that great. These are the Trenches Lumberjack, okay? This is kind of a cool version of a hat. Now, I think this is cool because there's a couple of things you can do. Snap these sides up on it like this, kind of wear it like that number right there. This bad boy is warm. That's all I'm going to say. So I do have a couple that I leave up at our place in Breck, and they're nice. This is a funny hat, I think. I like the hat, so I don't feel bad for me. So anyhow, I don't know what this pattern is called, but we'll just call this like, what, the tablecloth Fudd? The tablecloth Fudd? I don't know. Love it. It's a killer hat. Next one. I have worn this one. You guys know I love camo. So let's take a look. Let's leave this one with the flaps down on it though. This one's a little bit different. So this last one's a wool all the way around the board. Wool on the bill, wool on everywhere. It's just how that hat is, okay? This one feels more like where we talked about like ski jacket material and such. You can see when it hangs down. So we got a black camo Trenches. Same kind of thing with this connection back here. Cool thing about these particular hats is they have these flip, and there's like I don't know if it's a wire that you can maneuver in there. So you can flip that up however you'd like. So let's say you're like I don't know, starting a trend. You go right up, left down. Is that how the kids would do it? Like, you know, they have one sweat pant up, the other one down. That even makes sense? I don't know. So that's it. That's all I have for the hats. Just kind of a quick review on the hats. What I would tell you is you don't need 11 of them, and I have more up in the mountains, so you don't need that many. Definitely, though, if you choose one or two to stash in a vehicle or take with you, you're shoveling snow, you're skiing, snowmobiling, whatever it is, there's absolutely a place for this particular hat. I've used them a ton in the mountains, not down here in Denver quite as much, but up in the hills, definitely used them. And they're warm and they're fantastic. So if it was me, I'd give them a run, give them a shot. Let me know what you think. Hit the comments. Since we've done the last Melin video, I've gotten a lot of questions, a lot of comments about the hats. And since we did the last video about these Melin hats, I've gotten a lot of feedback from people on them. The only thing that I hear about is price. Obviously, price is a big issue for a lot of people, understandably. But the majority of the people that I talk to love the hats. They say, hey, they always start out with one, then they up with 2, 3, 4, 5. One particular guy hit me in the comments recently and said that he bought one, now he's up to like 8. It's easy to do that. It is definitely a problem, these Melin hats, because they're amazing. So I'll tell you the same thing that I said in the last video. They're worth every penny. I'm not going to stop buying them. I probably should, but I'm not. Dealing with Melin as a company is fantastic. And one of the things I love to do is if I'm going to spend my money on something, especially something that's a premium product, you know, if you're going to spend the money on a hat like this, you know, this one's, I believe, $100. You're going to spend money on a $100 hat. You want to know that if there's something wrong or you need some type of support for it, you're going to get it. Melin absolutely handles it. What a great company. What a great idea for a company. Great people. Everybody I've come in contact with has been fantastic. Could not recommend this brand more. Yeah, so I'm going to keep hitting you guys with some of these reviews. And maybe even not even reviews, because there's not really much I can say other than the hats are awesome. I don't have a lot of bad things to say. This buckle thing's about, I mean, I'm looking for something bad to say, and the buckle's not even that bad. It's just different, not something I'm used to. But one of the things that I do is that, you know, they'll come out with seasonal releases, and so I'll buy some of those seasonal releases, and maybe what I'll do is hit you with the colors, talk to you a little bit about the colors, how they look in person and those kind of things, and give you some more feedback on that. In the meantime, do me a favor. Channel needs your help. Like and subscribe, please. Although it is moving up, it's moving up slowly. And again, I'll tell you the same thing that I told you in the last video. I'm having a blast doing this. It's too much fun to spend time on all of your things that you love. And it's just, hey, it's a great way to kill a day, right? So do me a favor, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video coming up. All right, later.